Y'all, I scraped through all of my sales data back to 2017 up until today, and I came up with my best 15 thrift flips of all time. Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is MOGIBETH, and for those of y'all who are new here, I own and run a six-figure reselling business selling primarily women's clothing on places like Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and Tradesy. And in today's video, we are talking about my 15 best thrift flips of all time. And if y'all have been watching this channel for a period of time, you know I do a lot of retail arbitrage, liquidation, online arbitrage, and I source a lot at buy-sell trade stores or consignment stores such as Crossroads, Buffalo Exchange, Plato's Closet, etc. But today we're not talking about any of that. We are just talking about items I found at the thrift store, primarily Goodwill, because a lot of the thrifting that I do is at Goodwill. And so I went through all my sales data and really just pulled my best ones that I know I have found at the thrift store, and I'm going to share them with you today, starting with number 15 and working our way to my best thrift flip of all time. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, and let's dive into my best thrift flips ever. I'm drinking licorice cinnamon herbal tea, so cheers. And it's pretty fun because a lot of these items on here I have actually found in thrift hauls or thrift with me's that I've done here on YouTube. So if that's the case, I'll be sure to link it up on the screen. I know some of these I for sure have shared, and if you are interested in going back and watching those thrift hauls, you can kind of see the before and after of these sales. So we're starting at the bottom of the list. Number 15 is a pair of Stuart Weitzman Gilligan lace-up Dorsey flats. I had actually sold these before that I had purchased at Buffalo Exchange in Phoenix, but I found these at a Goodwill in Portland for $6.99, and they literally sold the very same day, which was an amazing sale. I had them listed for $100. They sold full price, no shipping discount, for $100. So after cost of goods and fees, I made $73.01, which left me with a 73.01% profit margin, which is excellent. Okay, the next on this list is the only item on here that is from the Goodwill bins, but hopefully that will change because I have become bins obsessed recently, as y'all have probably noticed from me going to the bins more and more often on my channel recently. But this was a surprise. It sold so well. So it sold on Poshmark. It was an Icebreaker Merino Loft long sleeve jacket. My cost of goods was only $1.92 because I got it at the bins, and it sold after 18 days. I had it listed for $150, and then I received an offer for $100, which I accepted. So after fees and cost of goods, my gross profit was $78.08, which left me with a profit margin of 78.08%, which again is so good. Okay, so the next one on this list, I remember finding this and actually another item on this list that you'll hear about later, back to back at a Goodwill. It was my favorite Goodwill, the one that actually closed down, which I was so sad when it closed down this year. But I remember distinctly when I found it. It was just one of those moments in my thrift career that I was just so happy because I'm obsessed with this brand. So number 13 on the list is this Poshmark sale of a Cézanne Gaspard jumper with pearl button cardigan in black. I spent $12.99 on this piece, sold after just 5 days, and I had it listed for $120 and it sold for $110, no shipping discount. So my gross profit was $75.01 and my gross profit margin was 68.19%, which was great. Oh my gosh, I love Cézanne. One of my favorite brands of all time, and this brand, along with a lot of brands on this list, are featured on my 50 Bolo brand list, which is free on my website. If you haven't downloaded it already, definitely do so. I made it over a year ago, but I think almost every brand on there is still very much a Bolo still today. Okay, and speaking of, this brand coming up is also on that list, It is a Poshmark sale, and it was this Ace and Jig Capella wrap jacket and a reversible print. I remember when I found this, I was actually kind of doing a thrift with me sort of on my Instagram stories. I just kind of took pictures of what I was finding and asking y'all if I should pick it up or not. And I came across this on a brand new rack, and it didn't have the Ace and Jig tag or logo anywhere, but I just knew it was Ace and Jig. And when I looked it up, I realized since it's a reversible jacket, they didn't include a tag, not even in the pockets or anywhere. They had just kind of included it with the package, like lightly sewn in, I think, or just included in the package. But I just knew it was Ace and Jig, and I was right, and I just felt like my thrift instincts are really keen here with my Ace and Jig recognition. But I paid only $7.99 for this piece, and it sold after only 13 days. I had it listed for $175, received an offer for $110, which I accepted, which left me with a gross profit of $80.01 and a gross profit margin of 72.74%. So excellent, excellent sale. Love Ace and Jig. Okay, the next one on this list, I think it was from one of my first thrift trips when I got to Portland, and I had never found this brand at the thrift store. I don't know if I have since either, but I was really excited to find it when I came across it, and I had just very little experience thrifting mid-tier luxury brands at the time, so I really didn't know how it was going to perform on the reseller marketplace used. But it was a Poshmark sale, and it was the brand 5 Asset, which is actually also on my Bolo list. When I found these, I found them in the pants section, which is potentially my least favorite section in the thrift store to go through, but I forced myself to go through it most of the time. And they were half off, which was amazing. They sold after only 29 days. I had them listed for $150 and received an offer for $110, which I accepted, which left me with a gross profit of $84.51 and a gross profit margin of 76.83%, which was great. That's just a sale I'll never forget, because it was kind of one that made me realize, wow, in Portland I can find some really good pieces at the thrift store that I can flip for good money. And the fact that I only paid $3.50 for them and then sold them for $110 was just amazing to me at the time. But my next sale was actually the only one on this list that I purchased from a mom and pop thrift store here in Portland. It was this self-portrait floral blush lace midi dress in red in a size 6. I had been wanting to find self-portrait so badly, and when I came across this in this little thrift store, I almost lost my mind. I posted on Instagram almost immediately and was so excited. I paid $24, but for self-portrait, especially at the time, I was more than willing to pay for that. I expected to make a lot more from this sale, and as you'll see, I had it listed for 609 days, which is kind of bonkers because I had it listed at $350 originally. I ended up relisting it later and lowering the price, and eventually it sold for $135 with free shipping, so $7.45 shipping discount, which left me with a gross profit of $76.55 and a gross profit margin of 56.7%. But you know what? It was still actually a really good sale. I mean, I'll take $76.55 any day, and I'll just never forget that day when I stumbled across this dress. And that's really kind of the most fun part of reselling for me, is just going on the hunt, finding these amazing pieces, purchasing them for, you know, not too much money, and then finding them a beautiful new home and making some good money at the same time. So even though it took 600 days, it was still such a fun, great experience for me. I just won't forget that dress ever. I've had actually better experiences with self-portrait though, with pieces that I've purchased in other ways, so it's still a really good brand to know and to pick up. I think I had just overpriced that piece because it was a little bit older of a piece. Okay, the next one on this list, number 9, is a dress that I actually mentioned in a recent video, the 12 Bolo formal wear brands video, and it is this Sorella Vita champagne sequin bridesmaids dress that I sold on Mercari. I purchased it for $14.99, and then it took 251 days to sell. But I had it listed for $135 and it sold full price for $135. I included free shipping on that, and so I paid $7.75 for shipping. Luckily, Mercari's seller fees are lower than Poshmark's, which is great. So I ended up with a gross profit of $94.55 and a profit margin of 70.03%, which is excellent. Okay, number 8 on the list is another Poshmark sale and another Cezanne piece. This is a sweater that I found right next to the other one that I found. This is a Cezanne Cooper sweater, bow tie wool pullover in gray that I purchased for $12.99, and it only took 1 day to sell. I had it listed for $170 and it sold for $135. No shipping discount, so I had a gross profit of $95.01 and a profit margin of 70.38%. So really happy with that sale. If I could sell one brand, maybe I would pick Cezanne. I love that brand. Oh, okay, I actually lied, because this next piece on the list I also found at a mom and pop thrift store here in Portland, which really makes me think I need to go to more mom and pop stores here in Portland, because I don't go to them very often. But hey, 2 of my 15 best thrift sales ever came from them. So okay, new motivation to put money into local thrift stores. Hello. This was a Poshmark sale, and it was an Eileen Fisher hooded double face alpaca blend coat. When I found this, they had it listed in the local thrift store for 45 bucks, but I was still like, an alpaca blend Eileen Fisher coat, it's gonna do really well. Eileen Fisher coats, just like substantial ones, long ones, actual coats, do really well, especially if there's any wool in the blend. This one was just gorgeous. And so when I found it, I think I had a hard time finding comps on it, but I just went with my gut, and it sold after only 17 days. I had it listed for $195 and it sold for $136, which left me with a gross profit of $63.80 and a gross profit margin of 46.91%, which is lower than the other ones, but at the same time, 63 bucks after only 17 days. I will take that any day of the week. I will also never forget finding this. I remember exactly where I was. I remember exactly what I bought along with it. It was just one of those magical thrift days where I took a chance. I paid 45 bucks, which is definitely paying up for a thrifted piece, and it paid off. Okay, so number 6 on the list was another Poshmark sale and another Ace and Jig sale. I love Ace and Jig. This I actually thrifted fairly recently after getting here in Portland. I got to Portland in the summer of 2019 and then found this in January of 2020, so right before the pandemic. But it was this Ace and Jig Jude jacket, contrast print, black and medium. Purchased it for $12.99 and it sold same day for full price. I listed it for $145 and it sold for $145 with no shipping discount, which left me with a gross profit of $103.01 with a profit margin of 71.04%. And that is the sale that reseller dreams are made of. You list something, it sells same day for full price, and you gross a profit of over $100. I mean, couldn't get much better than that. Okay, so the next was actually another item that I thrifted fairly recently after getting here in Portland. I actually found this in August of 2019, but it was another Poshmark sale. It was this Isabelle Marant Etoile sheer dress that I had thrifted. I think it was $7.99 at Goodwill, and it was half off as well. So I got it for $4 or $3.99, and it did take 160 days to sell. I sold it on eBay, I think through global shipping, but the payment never went through, so that was annoying. But then it later sold on Poshmark. So I had it listed for $175 and it sold for $148 with free shipping, which at the time, free shipping was only $6.79. It's gone up since then, and it will continue to go up. Just in case you're new, don't be surprised. Where we're at $7.45 right now, that will increase. It was really low, like 5 something I think when I first joined. But anyways, the gross profit on this item was $107.62, leaving with a profit margin of 72.71%. And Isabel Marant is a designer that I absolutely love. I stalk Isabel Marant on The RealReal. I think I have potentially sent in a piece or two of Isabel Marant to The RealReal, which is another way I like to sell designer pieces, but this one ended up being a really good thrift flip that I loved, and I was super happy to find a new home because, oh my gosh, sometimes I have nightmares, especially when I'm at the bins. I'm like going through a bin and I find something and then they start rolling it away. I'm like, there's probably really good pieces in that bin still. I mean, I just think of all the like great pieces that end up just getting rolled away and potentially ending up in the landfill, but I digress. Okay, let's move on. So we're down to number 4, and in the next top 4, I actually have 2 eBay sales, and they're older than 90 days, so I couldn't figure out how to do a screenshot. So I might include, if I still have it, the Poshmark listing, just for reference of what the item is, but 2 of these were eBay sales. So number 4 is a eBay sale. It was a Billy Reed camel hair suit jacket that was a 42 regular. This is the only men's item on the list. I don't sell a lot of men's, but you know, when I do, sometimes I get lucky, especially with this one. Matt, my partner, is obsessed with Billy Reed, so when I found it, I was like, hey, I should pick this up and try it out, and I'm glad I did. I picked it up for $12.99. It did take 160 days to sell, but I had it listed for $250, and it sold to an offer on eBay for $150. I paid $10.85 to ship it, and so I grossed a profit of $106.51 with a gross profit margin of 71.01%. So very, very happy with that sale. Number 3 on the list is a Poshmark sale, and it actually sold to a viewer, which is amazing. So if you happen to be watching this, hi, thank you so much for your purchase, and thank you to everyone who has ever purchased something from me, especially if you stumbled upon that purchase through this YouTube channel. That really, really means a lot to me, and just to know that y'all support my small business, it really means a lot, so thank you. But I am obsessed. This is maybe my favorite thrift find ever. Like, sometimes I get that question, what is your favorite thrift find? And maybe this is my favorite because it's just so unique. So I actually included these in a thrift with me, a thrift haul, which I'll link up on the screen. But this was a Poshmark sale. It was a Del Toro Moda Operandi collaboration, and it was these sushi velvet slippers in a size 7. So unique, so cute. If they were my size, 1,000,000% I would have kept them. I purchased them for $9.99. I had them listed for 135 days, so they were actually up there for a while. And I had them listed pretty high too, because they're such a unique piece, and they do retail for a lot of money. I had them listed for $300, but then a viewer sent me over an offer for $150. And since they had been listed for a while without a sale, I accepted. And so I grossed $110.01 with a profit margin of 73.34%, which was amazing. Potentially my favorite sale of all time, and just a fabulous item. I was so excited when I found it. Okay, so the next sale, number 2 on the list, is another eBay sale, and I think I actually sold this on Poshmark and then it got canceled. And then I sold it again on eBay for a little bit less, but still for good money. This was a brand I didn't really know about, but funny enough, I think I saw it in the airport in Tokyo or something. And it is the brand Bao Bao. And I can't believe I came across this at the thrift store, but it was a Bao Bao Issey Miyake Lucent Tote two-toned metal. This is definitely a Bolo brand, and I picked it up at a Goodwill on a rainy Sunday for $7.99, and it took 150 days to sell. I had it listed for $300, but I received an offer for $175 on eBay, and I accepted it. I paid $8.85 for shipping, and so I had a gross profit of $135.29 with a profit margin of 77.31%, which was fantastic. That was such a surprise and just such a cool sale, and definitely a Bolo brand. And it's one that Goodwill's probably not going to know about, so they're not going to mark it up. So if you're in the purses section, look for that type of bag. There are of course, dupes out there, but there are ways to make sure that it's authentic. And I went through that process and luckily it was, and I was just so excited. So, all right, number one on this list, which is in a Thrift With Me video. I think it's titled My Best Thrift Haul Ever. And potentially it was, but my best thrift flip ever, which luckily I got to document, was on Poshmark, and it was a pair of Proenza Schooler woven platform shoes in a size 36 that I paid $12.99 for. I had them listed for 83 days, listed them for $300, and they sold for $175 with free shipping, which was $7.45, which left me with a gross profit of $119.56 and a gross profit margin of 68.32%. And this was such an incredible find. I found these shoes and an Ulla Johnson dress, which I ended up keeping because otherwise it would have definitely been on this list, at the same Goodwill. It just must have had a really good donation, and that's kind of the name of the game. You just got to be there at the right time when someone who's wealthy donates their expensive, luxurious clothes, and they just happened to donate Proenza Schooler, which is a really high-end designer, which makes amazing pieces. And this was just such a unique and awesome find. That's another day in my thrift memory, my thrift catalog, that I'll never forget. That was just such an amazing thrift trip, and I love that Ulla Johnson dress that I kept. And maybe one day I'll sell it, and that sale will end up on this list again. But let me know in the comments down below, what are some of your best thrift flips? Sometimes you guys leave them in the comments and I'm astounded. I'm sure a lot of y'all have way better ones than me, but I am going to incorporate more and more thrifting into 2022. So hopefully I'll have a whole new updated list by the end of 2022, and I will have scored more amazing pieces and had more amazing flips. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. But I'm so interested to hear what your best thrift flips of all time are. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I thought it was gonna be a fun little trip down memory lane, and it was really fun for me. I just have such good memories thrifting, especially here in Portland. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Love y'all. Bye.